We hear the word environment all the time, right? But what does it actually mean? To really get to the bottom of this, we're not going to start with a dictionary definition. We're going to start with a story. So let's dive into this whole idea through the eyes of a student named Ravi. His story begins when he came back to school one day and, well, a really important part of his world was just gone. Okay, so here's Ravi and his friends. For them, a massive part of their world, their whole universe really, was the playground right next to their school. It was that place, the one where you could run, play, and just be a kid. But then, after a long vacation, he came back and total shock. He was just heartbroken. The whole playground, gone. It was just this big pit of dirt. The soft grass, the marigolds, the butterflies, everything. And it was all being dug up to make way for a giant new building. And it wasn't just Ravi feeling this loss. At the school assembly, the principal actually pointed it out to everybody, saying, "See how our environment is changing?" And just like that, this one event took this big kind of abstract idea and made it super real, super personal for everyone. So that whole experience got Ravi thinking. He went to his classroom and asked his teacher a question that honestly is at the very core of what we're talking about today. His question was simple, but so important. He just asked, "What is environment?" I mean, think about it. It's such a fundamental question, but how often do we actually stop and think about what it really means? What's in it? And the teacher's answer was just perfect. So simple. She said, "Whatever you see in your surroundings." That's it. So the school building, the desk you're sitting at, the field outside, the roads, even your friends. Yep, they're all part of your environment. Then the teacher took it a step further. She explained that you can pretty much split our environment into two big categories. You've got the stuff created by nature, mountains, rivers, trees, and then you've got the stuff made by people. Roads, cars, books. It's a tale of two creators, really. Okay, so why is this so important? Why should we even care? Well, it's because the environment is, quite literally, our basic life support system. I mean, it gives us the very air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, and the land we live on. Pretty crucial stuff, right? And we can get even more specific. Scientists have a couple of key terms for this. Biotic, that's the world of all the living organisms. Think plants, animals, us. Then there's abiotic, which is the world of all the non-living things like land, water, and rocks. You absolutely need both of them. They're both essential parts of the whole picture. All right, so from there, let's zoom in a bit on the natural world. It's not just one big blob of nature. It's actually made up of four major parts, or domains. And the key thing is they're all connected. You can see it right here. The natural environment is basically a mix of land, water, and air. And where they all come together, you get the zone of life. So let's break them down one by one. First up, we have the lithosphere. The easiest way to think about it is it's the ground, the solid, hard top layer of the earth. It's made of rocks and minerals and covered in soil. And this is what gives us our forests, our grasslands, and, of course, the very land we build our lives on. Okay, next is the hydrosphere. As the name kind of suggests, this is all about water. We're talking rivers, lakes, seas, oceans, all of it. And it goes without saying this is absolutely essential for every living thing. No water, no life. Then, wrapped around the whole planet is the atmosphere. This is that thin layer of air that gravity keeps from just floating away into space. And it does more than just give us oxygen to breathe. It's also like a giant shield, protecting us from the really harmful rays of the sun. And finally, you take the land, the water, and the air, and where they all meet and interact, that's where you find the biosphere. It's this pretty narrow, almost magical zone where all the conditions are just right to support life. It's where we all live. You can think of it as the big stage for the entire living world. But here's the cool part. On that big stage, things don't just exist next to each other. All the players, the living things and the non-living things, they're all interacting all the time. And this interconnected web is what we call an ecosystem. So what is an ecosystem? Well, it's a system where all the living organisms interact with each other and with the physical stuff in their environment. It's all about these connections, this constant flow of energy and material. Literally, everything is connected to everything else. And when you think ecosystem, don't just picture a giant rainforest or the ocean. It can be something much smaller. I mean, look at this pond. Even a little pond is its own incredibly complex ecosystem. You've got plants, fish, insects, water, sunlight, all interacting in this amazing, intricate web of life. And this brings us right back to where we started, back to Ravi and his playground. Because let's be honest, the biggest single force changing almost every ecosystem on the planet today is us. It's the human impact.
See, early humans pretty much had to adapt to whatever nature threw at them. But us? We actively change the environment to suit us. And why do we do that? Well, to meet our constantly growing needs for, well, everything. More food, more space, better technology.
And the speed of that change has just gone through the roof. Think about it. Early humans just adapted. Then, boom, the wheel is invented, and suddenly we have surplus food. Then trade starts connecting people. Then the Industrial Revolution kicks off large-scale production like never before. And now, the Information Revolution means we can communicate instantly across the globe. Each one of these steps has given us more and more power to change the world around us.
So that really brings us to the biggest challenge we face today. We've gotten really, really good at changing our worlds. The big question now is, how do we learn to use that power in a way that's, well, responsible? Because the goal here isn't to just stop everything, to stop progress. It's about finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance between the natural environment that we absolutely depend on and the human environment that we've created. It all comes down to this. We have to learn how to live with our environment and use it in a way that's harmonious. The way Ravi's playground and his school existed together. But that leaves us with the biggest, most important question of all, doesn't it? How do we actually do that? How do we find that balance, not just from one playground?